Good evening. It is Thanksgiving week, and I can't think of a better guest to have on We Think Your Health tonight than our guest that we do have, Ken Cushman. You know, when we have time to stop and think, it's so rare that we actually take those moments to let our minds wander to important things that have happened to us, things that we need to be grateful for, those that are sometimes painful and those are sometimes remarkably positive. And we should do that this week. And one of the things that my mind always wanders back to in much gratitude is months that I spent with a couple here in Florida, uh, Ken and Kathy Cushman, who at that point had an amazing in person summit. Program to take people up the mountain, to see the summit, to see all that we are capable of as human beings and are usually too stressed or strained or in pain or traumatized to allow to come to being. I spent a few months with these people and went through the discovery curriculum with them, the breakthrough leadership, and I met friends that to this day, hopefully, are viewing, are my friends, both quite literally in real time, virtually, and social media, and always in my heart. So tonight, I want to share my little life secret about a time that totally shifted the way I viewed myself, my past, my world, my relationships, and my future. And I will tell you that I didn't always listen, even though I came to these amazing truths. I didn't always put them into effect. And looking back, Ken, I could kick myself for not leaving that experience with you and following my heart, following it. I have something on my screen. I don't know what that. Oh, there it is. Following my heart, following the clarity that I got with you, and not going back to old movies or old patterns. But I wasn't always perfect, but I'm better and better every day, and that's a part of the Cushman way. So let me get Ken up here right now. Welcome, Mr. Cushman. I am so proud to have you on Rethink Your Health.
Oh, thank you so much. I am really excited about being here and really grateful for the opportunity to be with you and share with your viewers or listeners.
Hey, listen, tell me a little bit about your experience. How long have you, first of all, what is personal development work? You know, we all hear about coaching. We all, hey, listen, viewers are jumping on. That's great. Listen, send us some love, send us some comments. I don't know if LinkedIn is allowing comments yet, but I know Facebook is. So please let us know you're here. Back to you, Ken. What is personal development? How is it different than coaching? I know that your new company that you're working globally in corporate training, with Cushman coaching and consulting. But tell me a little bit about the differences and what you have built through several decades of your life.
Well, to answer what is personal development, it's really about being the best you can be. I really believe that when we come in this world, we are born perfect, just like a jewel, a diamond. We use the diamond as a metaphor in the trainings, but I really believe that is human being. We're so amazing, so many facets, so incredible, and things happen along our life. Different events happen in our life. Some of them positive, some of them negative, some of them traumatic. But different things have happened to us along the way, and we begin to build up some barriers to really connecting to the authentic part of who we are, to really connecting with our diamond. And the way I would say it is the personal development work is about really getting access to all of you, starting to clear back some of the clutter, some of the stuff that's built up over the years. And we offer a process, an experiential process, experiential learning, to begin to move through that, to begin to uncover and redesign those beliefs and those mindsets.
You asked the question, and I'm putting it up on the screen. What do you have to uncover, right? What do you have to get to that inner brightness that you're talking about? But I remember the most amazing question that still follows me, and I always ask it to myself when I'm feeling confused. What is it that I don't know? Or, you don't know what you don't know. And then the other question is, what do you really know that you're not admitting to? I mean, they're two really important questions that you taught me. And I'd love for you to share that with the viewers.
Well, I started this journey myself. You were asking me how long I've been doing this, or how did it start for me? And it was almost 30 years ago. So in June of next year, I'll be celebrating 30 years beginning the path. And when I started, I didn't know anything about personal development. I wasn't looking to develop myself. I didn't think I needed to be any better. I was great. I was 32 and a half and doing quite well in my life, my job, and my career. And a family member went through the training and said, "Hey, this is great. You ought to do it." And I really didn't want to have anything to do with it. But out of encouragement, and what I know today when I look back, it was more out of wanting his approval. It was my dad and my uncle, who were two men that I respected highly. And so I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and do the workshop. And, they offered a money back guarantee. And, if it wasn't for me, okay. And I walked into something that I didn't think I was going to get anything out of, and my life began to change. And it came out of one of those questions that you were just talking about. You see, in the realm of things, there's all the information we know that we've learned through our lives, and that's just like a small percentage of the possible knowing that there is in the world. And so we know like a small slice of that pie. And there's another part of it. It's like what I know that I don't know. So there's a lot of things I know that I don't know. Like I know that I don't know medical science, and I'm not a physicist. So there's a lot of things that I know that I don't know. So you have these two pieces of this picture, this pie, of what I know and what I know that I don't know. Right? They're actually the same because I know them. So I know I don't know, and I know. But there's a whole bunch more. That's just a small percentage of the possible knowing. And that's in the realm of what I don't know that I don't know. And that's where learning happens. See, learning doesn't happen in I know I don't know, and I know I know. No learning happens. Just the same things that we normally do show up, and the same results show up in that space. But when we step out into that other possibility, what I don't know that I don't know, and being a discovery, a search, we begin to see some things that isn't available from the other point of view.
It's kind of right now, I want to stop and talk about where real learning happens. So much of us believe that we know how to learn. And, I can talk a little bit about some of the things that were amazing to me. One of the exercises that I remember, and I don't want to give them away. I know we're going to talk about, you know, what's the process of getting to this optimal self. But I remember an exercise. There was 30 people in the room with me, and I was like you, Ken. I was on the top of my game. I was fine. I was just there because my company, somebody went to this and they said, "Oh, let's pay for other people to go." And since I was one of the founders, I said, "Oh, I guess I have to go through this, right?" And so I was there kind of against my wants, against my desire. And I looked around the room and I saw these young kids. I was a young kid, but I saw these like young people that, didn't look like they had much education like I did. I mean, I'm telling you, I was all misjudgment. I had no idea what a judgmental person I was. And I'm sitting there, and somehow you knew the person that was going to piss me off the most, and you partnered me with them. And oh my God, I fell in love with them like they were my sister after a month. Because what we don't know is how much crap we build up in our judgments and in the way we view the world to protect the truth about ourselves, right? And I remember one time you said to somebody rather strongly in the group, why is it that you don't like this about a person? Could it possibly begin with you? Think about it. Are you really egotistical as you're blaming this person to be? Is that, my God, it blew up. I mean, it blew up for all of us. Those that are watching, I see some names that are popping through. Those that went through summit courses, we were like, oh, that can't be. And by the end of our time together, we said, we are everyone. My God, we are one family of humanity. And it's our responsibility to serve each other. No matter how difficult or ridiculous it is, it's our responsibility. And in that came my freedom, right? Life didn't become easier after that, but it became more beautiful, right? It became more beautiful. Now, listen, I want to talk about the three things, or maybe it's less, maybe it's more, that really hold people back from being happy, being authentic, being open to discovering more about themselves. What are those things?
Well,
All those years.
so fears can cover so many things, right? And so I'll say it this way. I think one of the big things that get in people away is a fear of what other people think of them. It starts when we're younger and we begin to worry about what our parents think of us, and they like us better or worse than our siblings, or we start to have that thought of, am I good enough for them, right? Some of you, and maybe some of you listening can see this in yourself, that we start doing things, we make choices, maybe it's in school or education, career paths, the people we hang out with, the people that we love. And sometimes we make choices based on what we think other people think or other people want, whether it's our parents or family members or friends. And so I think it's a big one, what other people think, wanting to be liked. In the trainings, we use that as a strategy that we call looking good or approval.
And
it's a big thing that gets in the way.
It's a huge thing, especially for all of us. We all talk about trauma. And some of us, life is traumatic. I mean, it gets even more traumatic after childhood. I didn't think my life would get any more traumatic than the childhood I had, but it has, right? And, we look back on that trauma and people often think, well, trauma leaves us pleasing others because we don't want to get hurt again. Mm-hmm. But when we please other people, we repress every healthy impulse, not just in our mind and psyche, but in our body, right? I mean, it can be the root of all kinds of stuff. Inflammation, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity. When you're living to please other people, when you can't reclaim your own authentic power, desires, needs, and dreams, nothing is going to be healthy. Nothing.
I think that's a really great point, because really to get your health in line, you need to handle those internal mindsets, the dialogues that we have, those internal conversations. I didn't realize I even had them until I could start to quiet this chatter up here. And, being in these personal development workshops, I began to learn how to distinguish between all the noise. We have our own noise, and then, of course, there's all the other noise that's going on out in the world with friends, family, media, society, and then our own internal voices, is starting to quiet that down so we can get to what's real and what matters.
And when we focus on what matters and what's real to us, what happens? What happens in the lives of thousands of people that you've been close to? What begins to happen?
People begin to experience joy, freedom, results. And when I did these trainings, like I said, I walked in there not thinking I was going to get anything out of it, and with an idea that I was going to ask for my money back at the end, I began to see people's lives change right in front of me. I saw things happening in the first part, in part one, the discovery, but then in the breakthrough, when I just actually literally saw years melt away from people's faces. Who was it? Lincoln once said that we wear our lives on our face, right? And so what's happened to us shows up. Even I remember walking out of the training, about halfway through the training, my mom and dad had happened to stop by because they knew that I'd be coming out that night. And I can still remember my mom's voice. It was like a gasp, and she said, "My God, your face has changed." And I
Mm.
thought that was kind of weird. And when I went back into my room that night to go to sleep, and I looked in the mirror, I saw it. Like it was like relaxed, soft. It wasn't so tight and tense, and it just looked like I would like had just slept for 2 days.
You
And
know, yes. And I think part of that, it's funny, you talked about fear. But one of the big things that I remember is the feeling of safety. So many of us do not feel safe as children, and that just kind of translates as we get older, right? We lose this fear that we're safe. We make all kinds of stupid decisions to find safety and security. When one of the things that we discover in discovery and then certainly breakthrough is this is the safety right here. But we're always looking to be safe. But somehow, Ken, you created this circle of safety in the people that I went through discovery and breakthrough with. Is that something that you're conscious of?
well, absolutely, it's one of the things that's always inspired me about this work: the power of human beings when they come together. There's a synergy that happens, and when people come together, committed to moving forward and committed to each other moving forward, it opens up a space of trust and safety, and together we can create so much more than we can on our own. We're powerful individuals, powerful creators, but synergy of us working together, there is no way that we could create those breakthroughs on our own.
Yeah, and so many of us in the past couple of years, Kathy, my dear friend and your wife, points out is that so many of us have been under so much pressure. We're in pressure cookers of solitude. And so we know, and I talk about this all the time on Rethink Your Health, is chronic disease rates are up, chronic pain, but more importantly, depression, suicide, suicidal ideation, you know, deep, chronic depression. All of those things are up. How would taking a course right now, and your courses, and this is what's exciting, are now online.
Yes.
How would taking a course help me? What is the word? I want to say something like come alive again, revive myself, because it's been hard, and I know I'm not the only one.
Well, the how is a long answer. The shorter answer is that you have everything you need to create the experience that you're looking for within you. You just have some tool. We have some tools that you can use to begin to move past that stuff that's in your way, to get connected with that part of you, that powerful part of you, and experience that joy and that freedom again. We've seen a lot, even with graduates, with the pandemic and everything that's happened and all the craziness that's been going on in the last 5 or 6 years, that it's easy to get distracted. There's so many distractions. And so getting on track by focusing on what you want, one, it takes some of the focus away from some of that stuff that distracts us and gets us off the track that we're on. And the more that we can stay focused on what we want, then we can act consistently with it. It's when we let these distractions get in our way that throw us off. Your mic's off, dear.
Um, taking this course is a way to get rid of distractions. Doing personal development work of any kind, it's like going to church. Sometimes I go to church just because it does not allow me to be distracted by my worries, by people, about anything in my life except my relationship to God, my relationship to a higher power. So making a commitment to personal development, to polishing my diamond again. And those of you that have been through Ken courses and Kathy courses, come back. I'm going to tell you what Ken and Kathy are planning in just a minute, but come back and even the best diamonds need to be polished every once in a while in order to get their clarity and the brightness back. And so, it's the whole idea of making a commitment to myself to get rid of the distractions of the past couple of years of this paralyzing pandemic in order to improve my health, in order to figure out what the frick I want to do, because healthcare is not what I want to really, the old way I did things, working for hospitals, is just not what I want to do anymore. So, how do I serve, right? I put this little quote up when you were talking. You have everything you need to have an amazing, honest, joyful life right now. Cushman just has tools and strategies and support to get you there faster and to keep you on track. And that support is each other. That support is the community that you create. Now, I know that you told me, and you're guaranteeing, right, that the virtual discovery and breakthrough course, 2-part workshop that you're planning, it's a money back guarantee that people will feel the ground underneath their feet again. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And you're doing this online.
Yes.
Okay, you're doing this online. Oh my goodness, somebody's, this is watching from Tagbiran Bohol. Oh, that's great. Good morning, Maribel Victor Balzone. Yes, you can actually be on this Zoom internationally. That's one of the very powerful things about this. That since it's not in person, you can be in anywhere, right? You can
We've
be.
done some online courses over the last couple of years that we've had people in Taiwan participating with people all over the United States and South America and Asia, different parts of Asia like Kazakhstan and
Mhm.
Ireland.
Wow,
Yeah, so
wonderful. Well, let's talk a little bit about how this is happening. Ken and Kathy have come out of pseudo retirement here because they've been doing corporate training. Every time I talk to Ken, I'm sorry, I'm running to China. Sorry, I'm running to Mexico. Sorry, I'm running to. And it's great. I feel great for the corporations that have hired you to do leadership training, to help their managers walk across fire, to show them that oh, Kathy, I got to put that quote up. Yes, we are the world. But to really actually connect to corporate training. You've done it and you are brilliant and you're recognized for it. But you're coming back to your roots, back to people who really can't figure out what the heck is wrong with them and why they can't get their joy back, right? Many of us lost people. We lost relationships. We're all in grief after COVID. How do we transmorph that grief into gratitude and energy to be happy, stable, clear, brilliant diamond human beings? That's what you're promised. And you're going to deliver it in an online workshop that starts November 30th in just 9 short days at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. You're going to gather a dozen or so people to make huge differences in their lives. Now, I'm going to be, because you guys don't do this very well, I'm going to be the marketer here. What they're offering is pretty crazy because back in the day, I paid thousands, and it's now, what, 12, 13 years later. They're offering 75% off a $2,500 double workshop, and you only have to pay $99 down. I'm going to show you how to get in touch with Ken. Please be interested in this. And if not for you, many of you have teenage or adult children that are floundering. The pandemic has caused young people under 30 to just want to give up. So for $500 and only 99 to start, Ken and Kathy will take you through a two-step dance. The first one is I have it November 30th to December 2nd, right? From a yeah, from a Wednesday night to a Sunday night.
Yes, to the fourth.
Yes. Oh, to the 4th. I'm sorry. That's when Sunday is. And then the second part you can do in December, or if you're too committed with the holidays, you can actually do it in January, but not later than January because you don't want a really big space in between the discovery and the breaking through. And I'm passionate about this. I'm like, because I did it and I want to do it again. It feels like a wedding day. But this time, you're marrying yourself and the world around you in truly honorable, dignified, and authentic ways. So I just can't, you know, it is to take, here's what good health is about taking the time for you. Good health is about taking the time for you. This, however, forces you because you're putting out, at least, well, you're not putting out the $2,500, it's $3,000 that I did, guys, years ago. But we want to show the world that we can do this virtually as well and help people from the comfort of wherever they are at the point in life that they are. So please, Ken is one of the most responsive people I know. And if he can't help at the moment, you'll hear from some wonderful woman by the name of Kathy. But Ken is at Cushman coachingandconsulting.com. That's also the website that you can get into the nitty gritty, or phone number 954-445-1206. And you can certainly decide, you can text. I would love to also give you another banner, and that is there will be a very quick web page going up tomorrow, and it's called www.polichyourdiamond.com. And I'll put that up, and that will give you the details of this offer and the details of what you will learn. But you can also get that on the website as well. Now, I'm going to go back to Ken right now and ask him to talk a little bit. We have fear, we have, the need for safety. If you never see these 11 people that are jumping on and off again, what do you want to tell them about finding joy?
That it's probably one of the most important things they could be doing for their health right now. Our state of being and our mindset supports or goes against our health. Excuse me 1 second. So I think that creating that joy, and it's not that far away. I can tell you this, by Sunday morning, December 4th, if you walk into the course, you will be feeling joy in a way that you maybe haven't felt it in a long time.
I remember that. Oh my God. I have to stop a minute to just wow. I remember that feeling on Sunday because you know what? I'm the kind of person that has absolutely no patience. I want to do things my way. It's one of the things that I work on all the time. I want to do things my way. I want to get out the gate, get them done. I don't want other people's problems. I want to, it's a flaw. It was a bigger flaw at that personal discovery course that I was in. And I remembered I'm never going to make it to Sunday. I'm never going to do it. Thursday night, and this is very common. This is very common. Thursday night, people are uncomfortable because you're facing the fact that you've been screwing up your own life just by the way you think, right? And once your brain is set, once you tell your brain, look, you've been lying to me, brain. My heart is telling me you've been messing with me. The brain says, get the hell out of here. This is a cult. You get all this crazy stuff comes in your head, right? By Sunday, I walked in there and I didn't ever want to leave these people. right? Because they had helped me understand how beautiful I was. Because I never really thought I was. And that stayed with me. That little diamond piece of self care, self love. And when people treat me like dirt, I remember my partner in all of this. I know, I hope you're here, said to me, remember what Ken said to me? The flowers that grow the sweetest and smell the best and are the most beautiful start out in the most dirt. So bring on the dirt world, because you're not going to take away my blossom. You're not going to take away my flower. And Ken, that's the kind of gift that you give thousands of people. And if you're watching this and you have doubted your beauty, doubted your power, doubted your strength and health in the past couple of years, or maybe even for a lifetime, don't miss this opportunity to spend days with Ken and Kathy and other people who want to live in joy, peace, and health. If you do that, you're making make a commitment to you. And if you can't, just go ahead and send an email to Ken and say, Ken, please add me to your mailing list. Please keep me in your embrace because I need some help. Ken is the coolest person. He is not about money, right? He is about making commitments to help people live their best lives, to help us, as Rihanna would sing, shine bright like a diamond. That song wasn't in the cachet of songs when I did the chorus. Instead, my anthem is "Baby, You're a Firework," and it's really cute. My 7-year-old granddaughter came home the other day and said, "I found my song." And Ken, it was the Fireworks song by Katy Perry. And we danced around, and my commitment is to make sure these kids know how to be authentic, how not to let what I think or their mama thinks or anybody in the world thinks about them to get in the way of their joy. So,
What a great gift.
thank you. And that's from you to them. And I hope you do the kids' classes soon. But tell the people that are watching that may right now, and I just got 2 texts from friends that are interested, tell them what to expect. Tell them what happens in the discovery and then what they can expect in the breakthrough.
Yeah, so the process of discovery is really about beginning to uncover and discover these mindsets, these beliefs, these filters that we experience life through. We form these through the different experiences that we have in life, and they're like a set of glasses or a set of filters, and everything that comes through them is altered in some way, and we respond through that. So what we support you to do through some experiential exercises and process. So it's a very active process. You're not just listening to someone, but you're listening and then applying, and you're learning through an activity. And then what you're doing is you start uncovering these mindsets, these beliefs. And then you have a point of asking yourself, is this really serving me? Does this create the results? So in the discovery, you're uncovering and discovering the mindsets that are generating your results today. And then you have an opportunity that if it's not working for you to begin to change it or eliminate it. And so that's what happens in breaking through. Some of that work will happen in the first part, in part 1, the discovery, where you see them, and some of them you can once you're aware of them, you can begin moving them out of the way. But some of them have been with you for a long time. So in the breakthrough, which is part 2 of the process, you're actually going to be getting underneath that and kind of clearing it all out, like blowing it all out, and then redesigning some new mindsets and some new beliefs that support you and are consistent with the results that you're committed to creating in life, whether they're material or a intangible result.
Okay, great. I'm trying to keep track, and we have another amazing on Ralph Campbell. I know that he's been on Rethink Your Health, but Ralph is also a bit of a guru in the personal development field around dignity and around finding it and keeping it and holding it.
Hey, Ralph.
Yep, there's Ralph. Breakthrough. So it is just amazing because it's the two-step. It's a dance in many, many regards, and that is, you discover excuse my French world, you discover the shit that is keeping you just mired in unhappiness, mired in disease, mired in that complaint. What is holding me back? How come each time I try something, it goes wrong? I have tons of friends that call me and they say, "Oh, Tanya, you got it so together." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you have no idea. I know nothing. I know less now than I did when I was 20." I'm like, I know nothing, you know? So, but they call and they say, "How do you keep it all together? And the only way I do that is by constantly saying, what honestly is holding me back from being a reflection of God, right?
Mm.
Why am I afraid to succeed? You know, how do I get out? And I love this. How do you get out of your own internal operating systems, right? To get innovation. Those of you that are in the tech field, right? Those of you that are in the tech field, you know that you don't get to the next version of a phone or the next version of a computer until you break through that old operating system. And sometimes really radically, that's what Apple did. That's how
Yeah.
Apple, right? Go ahead.
Sometimes programs need to be upgraded, and then sometimes they need to be deleted, and something to replace it.
And I love it.
That's what the mindsets are. They're like little programs that we learn. And sometimes, like I can still remember when I had a Microsoft Word disk for my Mac computer, one disk. And it was like a 720 disk. It wasn't even a 14. And I used to run Microsoft. And the last time they had disks, it was something like 30 disks to install Microsoft Word. So, even though it was great in its day, it continues to change. And human beings are like that too.
Yeah.
And sometimes the beliefs serve you and sometimes they don't.
I have a question that just comes out of my head, but it's a question that someone asked me, a client asked me the other day. My God, why am I so afraid of any kind of change? Right? So she's expressing her thing that she gets used to something, and even if it's a bad something, whether it's a relationship or a job or just staying at home because there's a pandemic, it becomes something that she justifies and does not want to change.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. The thing about comfort, human beings are creatures of comfort, right? And even when it's uncomfortable, it's something that we know, right? And sometimes it's easier to sit in what we know than get in the uncomfortable of the unknown. There's a sense of control. So it's really about comfort and control. Right? We get in these
those are all constructs anyhow, right? I mean, we go through life thinking we're all in control.
It's an illusion.
A heart attack. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the thing is, we can start to identify it and then be with the question. And Ralph actually said it a minute ago, does this serve me? But we got to get off the automatic. Now, sometimes comfort serves me. I like to be comfortable. I got a great bed, that just totally serves me, a great chair that I can sit in my living room in. But when I start bringing comfort into like my career, right, or in something where it doesn't necessarily serve me, just like fear. Fear serves us. Fear keeps us from walking in front of a bus, sticking our hand in the fire. But when we start bringing fear into other areas of our life, it holds us back. So sometimes there's a fine line, but when you can get off of the automatic in life, and that's what these personal development trainings are all about, is getting off of that merry-go-round, getting off the automatic and stepping back and noticing what I'm doing. And then from a neutral place, asking, is this serving me? Is it producing the results that I want to produce? Or is it limiting me? If it is working for you, great, do more of that. And some of you, when you do the training, you're going to see things that are working for you that you had no clue about. So you can do more of that and create more results. And then as you see the things that aren't serving you, you can go, okay, now let's work on that and begin to change that. And so when you start maximizing what's working for you and eliminating what's not working for you, changing that, you get a quantum push forward. I was shocked. I would have never thought I could produce the results that I did in 1 year after doing the trainings. I doubled the company I was working for. In 3 years, I doubled the company twice. I didn't get any kind of training about sales and marketing or anything like that. What I got was like how to be the authentic me and bring the power of me to what I was doing. And 5 years later, from the time I did the training, I started my first company and I went out on my own. And here's what I know. I don't know what people are going to create in the process. But what I do know is it'll be extraordinary and far greater than anything that you could like write down on a piece of paper and say, this is what I want to accomplish today. Because what we think we want comes from some of those beliefs in the past, so we limit ourselves. We can pull back the blinder. There's so much more we can go for versus what we think is possible. So I invite you, come, check it out. And like Tanya said, we offer a money-back guarantee. And in 12 years, we served about 6,000 people, and less than 10 ever asked for their money back. It works.
It does. Oh, look at Ralph shared. I enrolled my sister in one of these personal development self-awareness rituals, who then went back to get her PhD and later became a Fulbright scholar.
That's extraordinary.
It's extraordinary. It's one of the things that happens is that you have an extraordinary experience. And what you do experience is, and listen, I'm being really, really sincere. You guys, many of you have known me for 10, 15 years on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You know that I have clients that I help promote, but I don't promote anything that's not a good impact on the world's health. And helping Ken promote this November 30th discovery and beyond is probably the biggest gift I can give you right now. And the fact that he stepped back and said, for $500, I will take these people on the entire journey, and I know they will help me grow this virtual part of my future. And so thank you, Ken, for allowing me back into the embrace of personal development mastery. The success stories are everywhere. I put up a little story where I showed a picture of myself in the class 11 years ago, and now, and I look 10 years younger than I did then. And it's not, trust me, it's not because I have money for facials or skin creams or anything like that. It's because when you really tap into the joy that's right here, if you're religious, you can say it's God-given from birth. If you're not, you can say it's just authentically who you are. When you tap into that, years don't matter. Aging doesn't matter. Success or failure in money doesn't matter. All that matters is your truth and your ability to help others find theirs. So on that note, I'm going to once again put up, let's get these banners up real quick. This is the offer. I'm sorry, I'm being, you're getting Ginsu knife too. But it's a 75% off at $2,500. I know you charged up to $3,000 for it, but it's only $500. $99 will reserve your space, so Ken can get you all the preparatory materials for November 30th, and then you can decide to go ahead and give yourself the best Christmas holiday gift ever and do the breakthrough before Christmas, or you can do it as a part of your New Year resolution. And then to get in touch with Ken at cushmancoachingandconsulting.com or 954-445-1206. And you can always connect with me, guys. You can always send me a message or call me to find out how to get involved. And Ken, I'm thankful for you this season. Ralph, I'm thankful. King's Tail, sorry about that. I'm thankful for you, Ralph, and all the love that you put into the world, all the kindness and refusal to accept anything but dignity for everyone. It's worth doing, guys, to really have purpose. And Ken, I'm going to let you take us out. I'm actually going to let you take us out. I'm going to put you full screen because you're the invitation and you're the reason why people want to give you time. So, y'all ready? Everybody, I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a beautiful Thanksgiving. Ken, final invite.
So I'm going to just say this. If you saw a little bit of anything, a little spark, a little something, take a risk. Trust us. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I made that choice 30 years ago, and my life totally transformed. I didn't think it needed to, but I knew there had to be something more. And I'll say this, there's something more, and it's far greater than anything you could imagine. Enroll today, take action, start working on it, and on December 4th, you'll see a new possibility. Thanks for watching and watching in the future. Contact us as soon as you can. Thank you, Tanya.